All right, it's 4:30 p.m. I want to have dinner on the table by 5:30 p.m. And tonight I'm going to show you how to make 2 dinners in 1 hour. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm down in the root cellar. It has been a really busy week. I'm tired, I've got my tired eyes on, but we had so much fun this week. We had the opportunity to go spend time with great friends and family at a water park. And then my beloved husband, who's behind the camera, was like, hey, I've got the time off, let's go skiing. Okay, so we did that too. So it was really fun. But today, we just got back late last night and I have not gone shopping or anything to restock, with fresh items from the store. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make 2 dinners tonight from your stockpile of the things that we have put up for the year, okay? And I do this a lot because things get busy, things come up on the farm last minute. I usually come up with a plan, but that plan we're not always able to follow that plan. So I have to have backup meal ideas that are always stocked here in the house that we can choose from and get into. So I'm gonna show you guys, and these are both fast, easy meals that you can throw together very quickly. And maybe this will give you guys some ideas of some stockpile items to put into your stockpile in your pantry and stuff. So you're gonna just come along with me as I go. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to make homemade veggie soup, which is a tomato-based soup, and I'm gonna show you how to make one of our favorite family recipes, chicken and rice. Both of these recipes are Grandma McElry's recipes, Josh's mom, and so we're gonna show you that real quick, so you come along for the ride. So let me see, I need, for the veggie soup, I need tomato juice. I need, I'm gonna do a can of veggies, and then Josh, I'm gonna have to come behind you because I gotta get potatoes, which are over here. Okay, and for the chicken and rice, I'll go over the exact recipes upstairs, but I need some of our canned chicken. 1 can is more than enough. Let me think. I have the rice upstairs already. I need cream of chicken soup. And I think I have everything else upstairs. Okay, let's go in the kitchen. I like to rinse off the lids of our homemade, or well, actually any of our canned items because they're dusty. And I'm sure you guys deal with dust like I do, especially down in the root cellar. Okay, so you guys know when I usually do recipe videos for you guys, we try our best to do them nice and tidy and neat and out in the dining room where our lighting is better. But you guys are just coming inside my kitchen with me today. We're hanging out. And yeah, you're gonna see the real process here. So I'll make sure and leave both of these. These are so easy, these recipes, you guys. But I'll leave them in the description for you so you can check them out. So if you wanna have a nice, easy idea, you'll have them. Okay, Grandma's veggie soup, so easy, and it's a staple in our house. For this recipe, you can either use your home canned tomato sauce, store-bought sauce, but I also like to use 100% tomato juice. And I keep this in the stockpile as well as our home jarred sauce. I like to save my home jarred sauce for pasta sauce. That's my favorite way to use it, but we have absolutely made this recipe with your home jarred tomato sauce. So you can totally do that. So I'm gonna use 64 ounces of tomato juice to start for this. And I'm gonna turn the heat on right away. And because it's like a tomato base, you wanna kinda keep it on medium to low heat because otherwise it will splatter all over your stove. All right, so we've got that going. Next, we are going to throw in some of our canned veggies. we like to store veggies 2 different ways. We keep some in the freezer and we keep some jarred so we don't take up so much freezer space. So we're gonna open up this jar. You want that nice sound that it makes when you open a jar, right? Okay, I'm gonna put in, this is a quart jar. I'm gonna put in our whole quart of mixed veggies. And the best thing about this recipe is that you can put whatever you want in here. If you don't like peas, don't put them in. You know, you can put whatever veggies you want. And this soup is so easy and it turns out and tastes great with whatever you have in your house. But our favorite way to make it is just with mixed veggies. And if you have, today I'm showing you how to make meals from your pantry, from your prepared items, you know, your stockpile. But if you have fresh stuff, this tastes awesome with fresh veggies too. So you can absolutely do that. But today we're going fast, easy, and with prepped stuff. Okay, so we've got our veggies in there, and then we are gonna cut up some potatoes. Julianne pre-washes our potatoes, and you can put lots of different varieties of potatoes in this soup. You can put the little, when you go out to your garden and you harvest potatoes, I'm sure you guys do too, these little baby potatoes that you get. Sometimes they just stay babies, or you harvest some early, and we freeze those. We just throw those into a Ziploc bag and we freeze them. And those are super easy to use in this recipe, or you can chop up big ones, whatever you have. That's a nice thing about this. So we love having potatoes in here. It just gives a nice heartiness to the soup. But yeah, these are our whole garden potatoes. All right, so we'll get these in there. And these red ones are still so nice and firm, lasting a real long time in the root cellar. You guys know, if you've been watching our videos for a while, that we've been testing to see how long our homegrown potatoes would last for down in the root cellar. Pre-washed, you know, to see how that went, and they are doing really well so far. I just cut one little eye off of that potato, but that is it, no big deal. You can put in as many potatoes in this as you want. That's the joy of this recipe. So anyway, let's get these in. Okay, one of the things that gives this soup such a great flavor is green cabbage. And we grow our own cabbage, and we kept them whole down in our root cellar for a good amount of time. But as they started to kind of wilt and get brown, we chopped them up and froze them in easy, you know, portions, proper portions for recipes like this, like in a Ziploc bag. And so that is what we're gonna use today. I have frozen cabbage, so I'm gonna get that out of the freezer up here. Okay, that's how we do it farm girl style. No, so it likes to freeze together. So we're just gonna put in, you put in cabbage to taste. If you have fresh, that's great. If you don't and you have your frozen, it works great too. So I'm putting in, I would say when I use a fresh head of cabbage, I probably use almost half of the head, maybe a little bit less, because Josh loves the cabbage in this soup. And I leave it in big chunks because not all of my kids like the cabbage. Like they like the flavor, but they don't like eating it. And so I do it in bigger chunks so that Daddy, Josh, can get all of the big chunks of cabbage. And I like it too. So does Julianne. Some of the kids like it. All right. So that's all we need of that. I think some of you guys probably can your cabbage. Tell me about that. We have never done that. So we have made sauerkraut, but obviously that's flavored, and I don't want that flavor in this recipe. So you'll have to tell me about your canning cabbage and tell me how your process that you follow and if you like the flavor of it. So far, this frozen cabbage, we don't do anything with it. We don't like blanch it or anything. We just froze it right away. It's been great. Okay, that is literally all of the ingredients you need to put in. You have all your veggies. The only thing we're gonna do is season it now, and then just let it simmer and cook those potatoes. But this is, this recipe has no meat in it, so you don't have to worry about cooking meat or anything like that. It's really easy, a nice veggie soup. All right, so then we just do salt and pepper to taste. So let's do that first. So I will obviously let this go for a while. If you have, you know, your homemade tomato sauce in here, the amount of salt that you're gonna put in obviously is gonna make a difference depending on what you put in your tomato sauce. So my tomato juice has salt in it. So I'm gonna add some salt and then I'll taste it later and see if it needs some more. None of the veggies have salt in them, so anyway, so I'll have to gauge that later to taste. Now, here is where, in this part of the story, is where my father-in-law needs to turn off the TV and pretend like he's not watching our video, because he's gonna scold me for this part, because this is where I do it different from Mom. And that's when I get in trouble. We like our veggie soup spicy, and my father-in-law does not. So we love putting, so turn off the TV, Dad. We love putting crushed red pepper in this recipe. But every one of my kids, they like spicy chili, they like spicy soup. So, and that's how I like it. So we add, so totally optional. Dad, don't be mad. I'm gonna add crushed red pepper, again to taste. So we let that simmer in there and give a nice little spicy red soup. I didn't even put in 1/8 of a teaspoon, probably less than that, but just do a little bit to taste. If you like spicy things, and come back. I always add more later, so we'll see. But we love it with that little bit of kick. It just warms you up, especially in the winter. All right, so that is it. Look how fast that was, you guys. We were able to throw that together super fast, and if I, you know, even if I let it cook, this will have no problem being done by dinner time. So I'm just gonna let this simmer and let the potatoes cook through. The other thing I like to do from time to time is make a pot of rice to go with it. I do not do that all the time, but when Josh is home, which he's behind the camera, he likes to have rice with it. If you need extras to fill in, you could throw in, you know, grilled cheese, homemade bread. That was one thing that I did do earlier today. If you have not seen our video on our homemade crusty bread, we will link it here and you guys can go check it out. It is a bread, this is just the dough, but it is one of our favorite bread recipes. You've seen our challah dough bread, our challah bread, which is really good. But this is one of our favorite recipes that we make several times a week, every week. So I am gonna cook that up, but go check out that video. It's super easy. You can do it, anyone can do it. All right, so soup is done. Let's move on to chicken and rice. Okay, now we're moving on to chicken and rice. And the original recipe that my mother-in-law uses is a little bit different than what I'm doing tonight. Tonight, I'm doing the fast version, okay? My mother-in-law, when she makes it, she fries the chicken on the stovetop. It's very good, but I'm showing you a way to make this with your prepped chicken. And you guys saw when Julianne, and in case you didn't, we'll link that video here too, but when Julianne canned up our home pasture-raised chickens that we raised here at our farm, we harvested them and then we pressure cooked them, shredded them, canned them up, and we're working through that for a quick meal. Otherwise, we keep our whole chickens whole and frozen. We have that as an option. But on these nights when you need a quick meal, that is one of the reasons why I love our canned chicken. First of all, it takes up pantry space as opposed to freezer space, which is a hot commodity here. but it's also so easy and quick on these nights when I need to throw together a quick dinner. So that's why I'm showing you my quick version, and it's so easy, and I'm also making it with instant rice. Many a times I keep plenty of jasmine rice in my stockpile as well when I have time and I am not in a hurry, but I like to keep the instant rice too. So today you're seeing the quick version. You can totally swap it out for jasmine rice or whatever, and you just tweak it a little bit. So let's get started. This is so easy, and everyone is gonna love it in your house because it's just a delicious, easy meal. Okay, so I've got my cast iron here. Pretty sure it's 12-inch cast iron, and I'm gonna put just a little bit of butter in the bottom. And to that pan, I am going to add 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. We have absolutely made our own cream of chicken condensed soup, homemade before. If you guys are interested in seeing a video on that, we can do that someday. But again, I'm showing you how to make it from your stockpile items. Okay, so 2 cans, cream of chicken soup. This is a nice recipe for, kind of like that casserole type recipe that goes a long way. If you're making a meal for someone that is sick or just had a baby or whatever, this is one of my go-to recipes for that because it tends to be kid friendly because it doesn't have strange vegetables or anything in it. It's just keeps the peace, keeps everybody happy. Okay, so we have the 2 cans of cream of chicken soup in there. And I'm just gonna take one of those cans and fill it up with water. All the way up, so a whole can's worth of water. And I'm gonna put that in with my cream of chicken soup here. All right, so I'm gonna whisk this together and add some salt to it, some pepper to it. You really don't need very much salt at all because obviously the soup has a lot of salt, so I just need a sprinkle of salt. I like the pepper in there. Give it some depth, flavor. All right, all I'm trying to do now too, I'm gonna whisk this and bring it to a simmer, creating a little bit of a sauce. Another reason why we're doing this in here tonight instead of in my dining room is because, as I mentioned downstairs, Josh is more spontaneous than I am. Would you agree with that? He's behind the camera. I'm a little more like, give me time. I mean, I'm cool with it. I can be cool. I can be spontaneous, but anyway, Josh decided literally, let me see, yesterday was the day we went skiing. He decided the day before at 1 p.m., so Tuesday at 1 p.m. that we could fit in skiing because he had off of work, which was really great. And actually the weather, we were up by my parents' house in Michigan. You guys have seen us going up there to visit. But the weather was great. It was like 38, 39 degrees or something and sunny, which is perfect for skiing. We are not like major skiers, you guys, so keep your expectations low. But we like going like once a year. And the kids think it's really fun. And it's just such a good time. Well, Josh decided last minute that we could pull it off, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's load up the car. But the reason, and I'll have Josh show you in just a minute, but the reason why, what happens when you come home, like last night we got home at like 11:30 and we were so tired. And so today begins like the dry out process of 8 people's helmets, 8 people's gloves, 8 people's snow gear. That's what happens when you have what most people consider a large family and then you go skiing. So yeah, that's what my dining room looks like right now. Mixing this together, as soon as it comes to a simmer, I'm gonna be adding the instant rice. So we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, it's a good mess, right? When you get to do these fun things with the kids, it's just such a blessing and so fun. And really our schedules have been so busy the last couple of years, it's hard to fit some of these things in. And it was a blessing to have a fun week full of good things. But yes, so I was like, I have a window of time, an hour window of time. I'm gonna make dinner for tomorrow night and dinner for tonight so that those 2 things are done and I can get caught up on the house and back to school and stuff like that tomorrow with the kids. So, and actually while we're sitting here, I'm gonna throw together this rice. I'm making this rice to go along with the veggie soup for tomorrow night's dinner. And like all of this can be done ahead of time, which is great. And again, tonight I'm showing you the quick version of everything. And so we're using instant rice again. I just like to make it with some salt and some butter and then the water obviously. And then you just follow the instructions on your instant rice. That's really easy. But I also really, really like jasmine rice. So when time is not an issue, that is my favorite rice to just have. That you can either make in the Instapot or on the stovetop or whatever to make it more quick and easy. So yeah, this rice is for our soup, and I'm gonna show you the rice that's gonna go into the chicken and rice in just a minute. All right. Okay, our sauce here for the chicken and rice is beginning to simmer just a little bit. All right, and like I said, you guys have already seen that. So far we have just some butter, the 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, 1 can of water, and now I'm gonna add 2 cups of the instant rice. I'm adding this to the simmering sauce. I'm just mixing that in real quick. It's nice to have, fun, fancy recipes, and we like doing that too. That's fun. But sometimes there's just something nice also about having just old-fashioned casserole, easy, quick, go-to recipes to have just in the back of your mind to throw together on these days when things are busy and quick. All right, so I'm mixing in this rice into our sauce. And I'm just looking for a few more bubbles to come up. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the heat because I see bubbles. And this is where our chicken comes in. All right, so we're gonna open up our can of chicken. Again, listening for that nice sound that it's nice and sealed. All right, I'm gonna grab a fork. Okay, and all we're going to do right now is we're going to dig in here and add in as much shredded chicken as we want. If you just have frozen chicken legs, let's say, or thighs or whatever, you can pre-cook those and put them on the top of this recipe. That's, if you have chicken breasts in your freezer, pre-cook the chicken breasts and then just set them on top. But here I'm just getting some chicken put in here. And I'm actually only gonna use half of this jar of chicken. And I'm gonna use the other half in another recipe later this week. And this is pre-cooked, pre-shredded, homegrown chicken that we have here. So yeah, I can make 1 can of chicken last 2 meals, especially in this type of scenario where I am making a casserole, or even like chicken tacos and stuff. If you have other, added things like rice, you can make it last for 2 meals for even my size family. And so for smaller families, a whole quart of chicken might last you for 3 meals. I don't know. It could go a long way for you. So it's really handy to have it in the house. All right, so I'm gonna mix up this chicken. And that is it. All I'm gonna do is cover this, and I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. And that meal is done and easy. Okay, while our chicken and rice is in the oven and our soup is on the stove top, bubbling and simmering and cooking, our rice for the soup is already done. I'm gonna throw together our crusty bread. Again, I'm not gonna give you the specifics for that recipe. I have a whole video already for you guys. You can check it out. And yeah, if you guys have any other great bread recipes that you love, make sure you share them with me. But I'm just going to get this ready. And the great thing about the crusty bread is even if you don't have the full time allotted that you need, like if you don't have 3 or 4 hours to let it sit or whatever, it still works even in a pinch. So I didn't get this setting up until, I don't know, like an hour and a half ago, and it's already bubbly and ready to go, which is great. And I'm not gonna let it sit for a full hour or anything like that. And it's just as soon as the chicken and rice is done, I am going to put this in. I've got my Dutch oven in the oven heating up for the bread right now so that I don't have to do that later, so. And that is it. I'll call that the easiest. I don't call it no-knead bread, but it's pretty much no-knead. Okay, so that bread dough is done, and like I said, I'm gonna let it sit the remainder of the 20 minutes while that chicken and rice is finishing cooking up. And who doesn't love hot, fresh bread? So I'm gonna bake the bread last. So I'm gonna let it sit in here and kind of put it over by the stove while the chicken and rice is cooking. And yeah, then everything is just kind of waiting until dinner time, and it is coming together nicely. All right, getting this crusty bread out. It looks beautiful. Oh, so pretty. All right, there you go, you guys. We have everything done. A very quick, successful 2 meals done. And now I have dinner ready for tonight, which is our chicken and rice, which just came out. So we have our chicken and rice here, and then we've got our crusty bread that we're gonna have for dinner tonight. And if you have any fresh greens or some frozen veggies or canned veggies, you can also throw that onto the table for the meal as well. And then our delicious spicy veggie soup is ready. And what I'm gonna do is just turn off the heat. In a little bit, once it cools down a little bit, I'm gonna lid that and I'm gonna lid up the rice, put it in the fridge, and tomorrow dinner's already done. So I don't even have to think about it. This also makes great easy lunches and stuff if you need something just to go to during the week. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today in my kitchen. I know these are simple recipes, but easy things where if you just are making dinner from your pantry or your stockpile or your root cellar, these are great staple items that you can have and throw together quick for an easy, good, healthy, home-cooked meal. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you're new here, and we are just so glad that you found us. All right, we'll talk to y'all soon.